Welcome to Podcast Unlocked, episode 194 for May 6th, 2015. My name's Ryan McCaffrey. To my left, Mitch Dyer.
Greetings.
Rocking that sweet 8-bit Ninja Turtle shirt.
They're actually Koopas. They're Ninja Koopas.
I get it now.
They're Mario Koopas wearing bandanas. And
I thought it was just them in their infant form.
No.
That is copyright infringement on two
levels.
levels.
That's an IGN shirt that we once upon a time sold and probably
shouldn't have.
Oh well.
Marty Sleva.
Well, hello there.
Hello there.
Yeah.
Hello here.
It's Wednesday.
It is.
I don't know. This is a weird start. I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened either.
Okay.
You got a Red Bull though, so you're charged up.
Good. Yeah.
Amped up and ready to ride.
Woo!
Woo!
Quick woos.
Sean Finnegan, the Shark.
How's it going, everyone?
Chomping.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why we all thought that was so funny.
Oh my goodness. Destin is still in Destiny Land. I have not banned him from the show. It is a voluntary ban he has placed on himself.
You just wanted to level the
got Crotos.
playing field in terms of trivia.
Well, it does make it more interesting,
Yeah.
doesn't it? That Dookie Award.
Woo!
Somebody's making it for me. They
Did it
said.
all for the Dookie.
A cool listener said he was going to actually
gonna
create
say-
the trophy.
They're just gonna send you a Green Day album.
Well, that would be make
good,
a
though.
hilarious
I'll take
trophy.
it.
Yeah. that'd be- And then you have to give it to somebody else the next year if you know.
I like that.
You could just rip it in the meantime into your iTunes. It's fine. Everybody saw Avengers 2. We all went as a group. A little bonding experience on Friday.
Yeah.
That was fun. Sean Finnegan, resident
Yeah.
filmmaker extraordinaire. What were your thoughts on that?
You know, I liked
of
it.
cinema.
I thought it was more Avengers.
Yeah.
There's something to be said about having seen the Avengers assemble before. That kind of took the magic away from the second one. It wasn't quite as epic as I remember the first one being. That said, it was pretty entertaining all around. It was about what I expected. Couple shots or scenes here and there really hit me unexpectedly, and I was surprised by them. But overall, it was what I expected from a Marvel movie, and I was decently entertained, not blown away. Yeah, that's about the sum of my thoughts there.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I went in with typical expectations and walked out going, wow, I liked the human stuff a lot more than I expected and didn't like the action stuff nearly as much as I thought I would.
Yeah, I mean, I've said the same thing about Cap 2, which is just like the first 20 minutes of Cap 2 are the most interesting part to me, where he's kind of like, a fish out of water, a man
Sure.
at a time, still like that line that he perceived so clearly between good and evil before is now blurred. Like
A
that's
fish
way
out of water.
Yeah.
A man out of
time.
Yeah, like that's so much more
Captain
interesting to me.
America
And then it turns
2.
into Battlestar Galactica at the end with these helicarriers destroying each other, and I'm like, that's not interesting for me to look at. And I
That's
felt
fair.
the same about Avengers 2.
Yeah, I just feel like it blew its action load way too early, way too often. So by the time you hit the climax,
Dirty show.
I just didn't like. There's that like slow-mo shot at the end of them fighting all the. It's just,
Oh, I was totally feeling that shot.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it was
I
a
was-
cool shot, but I just felt like we had seen that scene 3 times already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was action fatigue. Well, yeah, I think the Jeremy Renner stuff in the middle of the movie was really great.
Yeah.
That was super
A lot of people
surprising.
didn't
And
like that.
he was my least favorite part of Avengers 1.
Yeah, totally.
So that was
because
a
he
nice
was just like
surprise.
a doofus cipher who got mind
he just got
wiped.
played, yeah.
That was a weird component of the first movie. Was like Hawkeye's not even in it, really. Like it's weird zombie Hawkeye.
And when he is, he's not Hawkeye. So
Yeah.
who is this dude?
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, I want the Marvel movies to be better than sort of lowest common denominator, like most commercial sort
Yeah.
of action spectacles that they are. And there's something to be said about that. Like popcorn movies are popcorn movies for a reason, but this is very much a popcorn movie. Like I went in expecting that, got that, and was pleasantly sort of like surprised, I guess.
Yeah, I was in the same boat. Like I wasn't expecting to be blown away, and I had fun. It was a good time. I felt like for all those action sequences, I almost feel like, am I just numb to these films now?
Right.
Yeah.
Like there's just so much going on, so much crazy action that 10 years ago would have melted my face.
Yeah.
Oh,
Raiders of the Lost Ark style.
And the thing is, I think it still is melting a lot of people's faces, but I perceive this sort of superhero fatigue coming a lot sooner than
I agree
everyone
with
else
that
does.
I'm with you.
completely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone says that. This is the second biggest weekend of all time. This
Yep.
movie's going to make $2 billion.
Of course.
So the money and the tone are different things, though, right? Like you can make a ton of money and still have a lot of the audience kind of be weary of it. See Call of Duty.
Like, look at Batman versus Superman, right? Like, I'm a huge Batman and Superman fan, and I will see I will see that movie no matter what happens,
I'm
if
with
it's
you.
good or bad.
Yeah, of course.
But I want it to be really good, and the more times you get burned, if it's not good, the less and less inclined people get, you know, over time. And I think, time is what we're talking about here, right? Like these studios have planned the next 10 to 15 years
Right.
of their movies.
Yeah.
And I have this sense that 5 years from now is when people are really going to be
The
like,
backlash
really?
is
Another
coming.
one?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I just
Yeah.
don't know where Ant-Man fits in all of this either.
Yeah.
Well,
And people said
hopefully-
that about Guardians, but Guardians is a cosmic story. Like
yeah. Guardians
Thanos is gonna fit in there
one of the
really
better-
nicely.
Maybe the best Marvel movie.
I hope so. Yeah, I mean, to me, after seeing Avengers 2, I kind of thought, we started with like Batman Begins, Iron Man 1, and I feel like those were sort of smaller personal stories. Yeah, they had action and
Sure.
stuff, but I feel like before too long, that's where superhero movies are going to have to, like, the pendulum always just swings back and forth, right? Like in games, in our youth, and like on the NES, everything was co-op. And then Doom and Quake came along, and everything was deathmatch.
Yep.
And now, and then it's sort of everything was team games. And now it's sort of swinging back to more. Then it sort of went back to co-op. And now it's sort of swinging back to like deathmatch again.
Except with Battlefront.
Yeah. But in general, like, yeah, I feel like superhero movies are getting so big in scope now, which isn't a bad thing. But I feel like they're going to have to go back. There's going to be the counter to that where they're going to start just becoming more stripped down personal stories again, which
Yeah,
I hope
I
that's
love.
what Civil War is. Like, I hope Civil War is like Tony and Steve sitting in a room being like, dude, I completely disagree and I think you're a madman. Like, let's talk about
I'm
this.
going to go on the record and say that is not what it will be.
I'm
It
sure.
will not be My Dinner with My Dinner with Tony.
That's what I want from Civil War.
Like, Iron Man 3, people don't really like it.
I did not like that movie
yeah,
at
so
all.
like I like it because like 70%
Shane
of the
Black
time,
movie.
one,
Yeah.
it's a Shane Black movie, not really an Iron Man movie. Two, about 70% of the time, it's Tony Stark not in the suit.
Yep.
Which is the most interesting part of Iron Man to
Yep.
me is Tony Stark, not Iron Man.
the
you
big
know?
the big reveal on that movie and his most important mission, he's just wearing like a black turtleneck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then same thing with, Thor versus Thor 2. Like the first Thor was really about this sort of Asgardian god, but it was more a story about like pride and this father-son relationship and flying too close to the sun and being ignorant to like what it means to rule and stuff. Kind of more human elements. I just wish that all Marvel movies kind of took that human element, told that human story, because like to me the spectacle, that's just I know it's nonsense. It's the same with Man of Steel. The last 70 minutes
Yeah.
bored
Yeah.
me, right? Because it was just like destruction porn.
Where's Pa
and I was
Kent?
just
Bring
like,
him
yeah,
back.
It was boring to me. And I worry that, because these movies are so successful, all these producers who are making these movies are like, we're doing it right. Let's just keep doing it and do
Yeah.
it bigger and
Well,
more
when you
and
make
faster.
when your opening is the Avengers 2's opening, you
Right.
definitely keep
Now,
doing that.
an interesting topic came up on Twitter from our newest hire, Brendan Tyrell, on the day we all went to see Avengers 2. Who would you rather be, Tony Stark or Bruce Wayne? And I thought this was very interesting. Now, I have a definitive answer. I'm curious to...
I mean, it has to be Tony Stark because
You think
No.
so? Go
We
ahead.
have to
Explain.
Yeah, go.
I don't know because my parents aren't
Exactly.
dead. I didn't
That's
watch
exactly
my
where I'm
parents
going.
get killed as a kid
Yeah,
and feel
I'm,
this.
I'm rich. I'm smart. My parents are alive.
I
or
got
they,
tons of buddies. I don't have to do things by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I get to live in a big tower. I got a robot friend.
Tony Stark
He's now
isn't
purple
sad
dude.
about who he is, about his
Yes, he is.
secret identity. Not nearly as sad.
Yeah, but he's got booze.
No, I was going to say, yeah. Tony Stark's kind of broken. I mean, both Batman's kind of broken, too.
Batman
but at
is
least
super
he's found a way to channel it.
See, for me, Wayne Industries is involved in everything. He has completely unlimited resources, even more than Tony. He's terrifying to other human beings when he's in his suit, and he can kick a dude's ass without his costume. Tony Stark is a meek man outside of that Iron Man suit.
Yeah, but he.
So I would rather be Bruce Wayne.
Bruce, you
even
have to
with,
live a double identity. You have to lie to yourself and lie to the ones you love all the time.
Yeah, but he seems to get by all right. He does all right.
He lives alone in a giant mansion with a weird old British dude.
Who he loves to death and loves him. He's got some friends.
A ruby the size of a grapefruit.
I totally forgot that the last
Or a tangerine.
the last scene in Iron Man 1 is him revealing that he's
Yeah.
Iron Man.
Yeah.
God, that's good.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's
First
such
Iron
awesome.
Man is good, man.
Yeah,
I put it
first
up
Iron Man's great.
right up at the top of all the Marvel movies.
It's probably like top 5 Marvel.
But
for
yeah,
sure.
I mean, I didn't like the third act of it when Jeff Bridges just
Tony.
it just goes
Come
super over the
on,
top
Tony.
and dumb, and he's in this giant robot suit and saying
Yeah.
dumb things. But yeah, like overall, that is definitely my favorite of probably all the Marvel
of the
films, I
Iron
would say.
Mans.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would say definitely top 3 for me.
All right. Tweet at us who you'd rather be, Tony Stark or Bruce Wayne.
Or Marty Sleva.
Remember, that was the other thing, too.
Option 3.
Option 3.
The other reason I would choose to be Bruce Wayne is so that I wouldn't have metal shrapnel lodged in my heart, threatening my life at any given moment.
You know what it's like to have to talk like this.
So that's what that's like. All right. Then the last thing before we get moving, we were big discussion last week about the season pass for Arkham Knight.
Got a lot of tweets about that.
A lot of tweets. And I thought it was interesting. For some reason, this was probably super obvious to everyone, but it only just dawned on me like yesterday. It occurred to me after last week's show that they announced it so early because they knew it was bad news. They knew it was going to go over really badly, and they wanted it out of the way. And by they, I'm talking about WB, the publisher. They wanted it out of the way and forgotten, whereas if they announced it right at or right close to the game's launch, it sort of taints and changes the message for the game's launch. So they know this is garbage, and they shoveled it on us anyway.
They had the image of Batgirl like ready to go the next day. We're like, oops, sorry, here's some reassurance.
Okay. I don't entirely agree with that. I feel like they launched this, and I don't think they were expecting the immediate what the hell backlash of
that's possible too.
How dare you say, hey, $40 and we're not going to tell you a single thing about it. That was awful. And I mean, to their credit, I think it was a decent mea culpa because the list of things that are in the DLC are actually pretty cool.
Yeah,
a prequel Batgirl story.
Right.
First time to play as Batgirl in the series. They're still vague about the super villains invade Gotham.
Right,
but then new story missions for Bruce.
And then the other thing that actually, this is potentially the redeeming quality. I know it won't be quite this good, but I don't know if any of you have played because arcades are virtually non-existent now. If any of you have played the very recent Batman arcade game where you are driving any of the different Batmobiles from the Adam West Batmobile up through the Tumbler.
Which sucks, by the way. I'm still on Team Tumblr sucks.
Dude.
I'm with you.
No.
Tumblr is better than the Tumblr.
We're not going down this road again. See what I did there? Going down this road again.
Because cars go down roads.
Cars go down roads.
Except for the Tumblr.
Except for the go mountains.
In addition to the Batgirl thing for this season pass, this Arkham Knight DLC, so they're saying you'll drive different Batmobiles from over the years. So
those
if
are skins.
See,
they announced Batmobile skins in the first place, and then
right.
They're like, you'll get different ones. It's like, all right.
If they were actually sort of more or less taking that awesome Batman arcade racing game and putting it as DLC within Arkham Knight, I would completely forgive this because that's
stuff. If they interacted with the environment,
yes. If they were like actual, because that's the arcade game is it's like a combat race game with the different Batmobiles, and they each have sort of different properties. If that's what was in this, I'd be in favor of it.
Totally.
So anyway, that thought occurred to me. That's it for. Oh, and by the way, people are like, "Well, why aren't you guys pissed off about the $50 Call of Duty map DLC?"
Because I did not know about that.
That also sucks too. By the way, I mean,
totally.
It splits the community. It's every bit as bad.
It's $50.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they've been doing that for a while. Call of Duties in the past have kind of had very expensive DLC. This is why, it was unexpected. This was my answer. I got up a couple tweets. They're like, "Why aren't you guys hating on the one?" I don't think we're hating. We're just talking about these things.
Well, we were using Batman to make a point about how dumb it was. It wasn't even so much about Batman. It was about how they wouldn't tell us what our money was going to give us 3 months before the dumb game comes out.
Totally. And we know from past Rocksteady games, the DLC for Arkham City, the Robin DLC, that stuff is really good. So they make good content. It had nothing to do with that. It was just they were very unspecific as to what was coming in that package, almost to a point of refusing to really tell people until this point.
It's presumptuous.
But then also it was unexpected and uncharacteristic of WB in the past to do that. So that's why it was a thing.
All right, we'll come right back and do some news. All right, news unlocked. And you missed the Spider-Man movie rant.
You always bring us back right at the end of these weird conversations,
horrible places
where we're all just laughing at each other, and then it's back into the show.
Yeah,
it's great.
Well, just think of, what do you think newscasters who are on live television do during the commercial breaks? They're probably telling dick jokes and
right.
I saw Anchorman. He was being mean to Veronica Corningstone.
I saw what was going on screen. People taking their pants off, throwing footballs.
Killing a man with a trident.
Let's talk about Titanfall 2 because EA brought it up at their quarterly earnings call. Mitch Dyer.
Yes, sir. I missed this, but EA's CFO Blake Jorgensen said you should assume Titanfall 2 is not fiscal 2016. It's more likely fiscal 17.
Hey,
That's a weird.
you know what assuming does? Makes an ass out of you and me.
That's just a weird. You should assume. Just say no. Titanfall is not fiscal 16.
Like at that point, you were literally saying it's not coming out at this time. Like
Yeah.
just say it. To have some conviction in your words. Blake.
Purportedly, Titanfall is not coming out this time.
So
I
EA's
can't think of a more vague way of saying that.
Oh my
you
God.
should assume that. Like
Well.
telling someone to.
This is classic
so weird.
Jorgensen.
So in
Classic CFO talk.
every time these companies, I have to get the times translated for me because I don't
fiscal
know
years
what
are so
fiscal
weird.
year means in real
Yeah.
life. What does this mean?
So
Mitch?
fiscal 2017, which is when they're saying Titanfall 2 is coming out, is between April 1st, 2016 and March 31st, 2017.
Okay.
That's a pretty big gap.
So let's guess
very big.
when do we think Titanfall 2 is going to come out? Now remember, it's multi-platform this time around, which
Yeah.
I think is great because not only is the game awesome, let's get more people playing it and have it do better so that we get more Titanfalls down the road. But the other thing, because I'd one, let's call him a very passionate Xbox fan tweet me and say, well, that sucks. Like, well, no, it doesn't because theoretically as a multi-platform game, it'll have a bigger budget, which potentially could make Titanfall 2 a better game than it had been if it had just been Xbox exclusive
Yeah, I mean, that's what
again.
people wanted from that game, right? Like, really, Titanfall's dev time was not that long. And the game they made was made very rapidly based on prototypes
That's
they had
true.
made that they just spent a lot of time making. So if you give this team a lot more time, they can make a better game. How about that? I would assume that this is going to come because it has to arrive before April 1st, 2017. I would
Yeah.
assume this is a February-March game, 2017.
You think so?
Because Battlefield 5 is, or whatever they call it, like the next Battlefield game
Right.
is a holiday game next year.
Wasn't the first Titanfall that same
March.
time frame?
March, April,
Yeah.
yeah.
Spring.
See, I still think you're probably right, but I still think, to me, it would seem like EA would want this to be a pillar holiday title because now it's a sequel, now it's a franchise.
Sure.
Maybe they ship Titanfall 2 in
Like September, October.
August or September, and Battlefield is the October-November game.
I still think that they're far enough apart that maybe I'm wrong, but I still feel like that's cannibalization territory.
Yeah, but it's.
You could be right.
I don't know. Like if you veer off enough, it's Destiny, Call of Duty.
sure,
That's
Yeah.
true.
Point,
That's
yeah.
a fair point.
Yeah. And if you
Big
space them out in terms of a September and a November game, I don't think these are going to come out. I think it's coming out fall.
But do
Fall
you have
2016.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's not really that different from having Battlefield in October, November, and then having Titanfall in March, April, because
Yeah.
at that point, like, it's the same gap, and either way, you're gonna have one game kind of come along and say, okay, forget that past game.
Why did you say we know Battlefield is
They
fall?
announced that on an earnings call a few months ago. When they announced that Battlefront was a shooter and coming this year, they also said, and next year, next holiday, you can see the next Battlefield game.
Okay. Also, this all goes with the caveat of everything we love gets delayed.
That's true.
That classic gaming caveat.
That's true. Well, you do.
You should assume.
You do have to wonder, Marty. Actually, that brings up a great point. Is DICE is busy with Mirror's Edge.
Mm-hmm.
They're real busy with Battlefront and the probably large DLC plan that we already know part of.
I would assume DICE LA is doing a lot of that.
Fair point.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so how deep does the resource well go in the sense of, will any of the current projects affect Battlefield 5? Obviously, Battlefield 5 is a pillar title for them, but Battlefront is going to sell more than Battlefront.
Well,
Battlefield will, for sure.
What? Battlefront will sell more than Battlefield.
Star Wars will outsell their other
There you go.
things.
Military
Yes.
men.
Yes. Stormtroopers better than
Stormtroopers
military.
greater
Wait,
than
do we
G.I. Joe.
know
Yeah.
DICE is leading Battlefield 5?
We would assume.
Yeah.
Well, after Visceral just did Hardline,
Yeah. How big is DICE? Man, 3 games? That's a lot of games.
it's a lot of games.
Big studio.
Yeah, I guess
Lots
so.
of guys.
Yeah. Ooh.
So Marty, you
Well
are
said.
you and I you and I think early fall
Yeah.
2016.
I'm saying spring 2017.
spring 2017.
I'm with Mitch. I think spring. Titanfall, the first one, benefited from having that same thing, right? Like no big releases early in the spring. Like that was the first one. I mean, also
well, it
this was the
benefited
beginning
from
of the
nothing had been
launch,
out
yeah,
at all.
Yeah.
console generation. But still, I'm with Mitch. I think spring.
All right, we're split down the middle. Tell us what you think.
Yeah.
and then we'll just make in-and-out bets about it.
I think springs are going to start getting a lot busier.
Spring is
They-
for like the last 2 years.
Yeah.
It's been
Last
holiday
3 years.
2.0.
It's been going that
Yeah.
way.
Didn't Infinite came out in spring?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think April or May.
Yeah. And then we have Titanfall.
I mean, Mass
Bloodborne.
Effect 2 and 3 were spring titles.
Yep, I played Darksiders, Mass Effect 2, like a bunch of games in like my month before I started my first college semester.
The last Gears of War game, Judgment, was a
Yeah.
spring
Yeah.
title. I think the last God of War game on like for
Ascension.
PlayStation
Spring
was
2016
spring
might
game.
have Alan Wake, Uncharted, and Zelda.
Quantum Break, maybe.
Ooh.
Not,
You
yeah,
mean,
that's what I meant. That's what I meant, Quantum Break.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Why
if-
do those games rhyme?
Yeah.
Alan Break.
Alan Break, Quantum Wake.
That's
that
a cool
name.
title. That's
I
really
like
good.
that. Let's use that.
Yeah.
Speaking of dice,
Yes.
Destin's not here, so I gotta do my best.
Got nothing.
You gotta do your best. And
That's good.
no, it's not.
That's
Get
good.
outta
No,
here.
it's not. You're creating a monster.
I'm going to go out on a
already been
leap
made.
of faith and say that it's coming out.
So yeah, Mirror's Edge.
I did it.
It's not being called Mirror's Edge 2. It's just being called Mirror's Edge. It's a reboot.
That's me confusing.
Yeah.
Super confusing.
Right, yeah.
Uh,
They've gotta
especially
give it a subtitle.
It shares the same acronym as another high-profile EA title called Mass Effect.
I would in and out bet they're going to give it a subtitle.
What, Mass Effect?
No.
Mirror's Edge.
That too. Mass Effect and Mirror's Edge. But
I
Mirror's Edge
will.
is what
I
I'm
will
saying.
take that bet. I mean, they've already announced the game. I don't think Mirror's Edge is getting a subtitle. Are we betting on that?
They're insane if they don't give it one.
It's a
Insane
reboot.
enough to buy someone a burger.
They've, yeah. I think we have ourselves a bet.
Yeah,
here.
I bet
I think
Mirror's
I'm
Edge-
getting a 3x3
When
for free.
When Mirror's Edge launches, I don't think it'll be called Mirror's Edge.
The hamburger handshake. You guys don't even know what your other bets are.
No, I
At
have
this
no
point,
idea.
I don't know how many lunches I owe Ryan, how many he
How
owes me.
vice versa.
No
yeah,
idea.
where
There's
the
video of it somewhere. on the
somewhere.
Yeah. Also, Mass Effect is definitely getting a subtitle.
That I believe. I would not take a bet on that. But so Mirror's Edge : nothing is doing the first quarter of 2016. That's in real human time, not in fiscal time. This was another chapter, another bit of news out of the EA conference call. First of all, I'm ludicrously excited for this.
Yeah, Mirror's Edge
Luda.
is awesome.
Thank you, Mitch.
I knew that would land with you.
Second of all, I want to actually discuss this game because we all expect it to be at E3,
Yeah.
and it's been shown twice at E3.
Yeah.
Not literally shown.
Very limited
It was
capacity.
announced with a sort of target render fake, but here's what we intend this to be trailer when it was announced, which made me weep with joy. It was so good. It was everything that I wanted that game
Yeah.
to be. Then last year, during what was easily the worst press conference out of all of them, and just a horrible showing by E3 by EA, because it was nothing but Vidocs
stuff we're working
about
on,
their
yeah.
Vidocs about their development teams, which who are all wonderful and talented people, but they didn't really show video
Yeah.
games. And one of those Vidoc things was about Mirror's Edge, and it was just a bunch of ludicrously good-looking Swedish people. Thank you, Mitch. Do we have our new catchphrase?
Lil Mitch. Thanks, Lil Mitch.
Got 99 problems, but a Mitch ain't one.
Hit me.
Anyway,
Hip hop.
What?
Just said hip hop.
get on the microphone.
also, what are you doing?
Get back and stop it.
I didn't realize that my dumb joke from the background would become part of the show.
Anyway,
Just move on.
the couple times they've shown Mirror's Edge so far, they're saying and showing all the right things.
Yeah.
Meaning no frickin' guns.
Yeah.
They're talking about, yes, we're it's not a combat game, it's a parkour game, it's about movement and platforming. And so for me, I think the next move for them, which is almost certainly E3 this year, where I expect to fully see this game in action, hopefully get to play it by this point. I think their next move is completely key to how this game is perceived from heading from now into launch. Like, what's a good example? Like, Evolve was a game, when it was announced, everybody was psyched. I was like, this game sounds awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then as time went on, they weren't showing all the monsters, and they were kind of just showing the same thing over and over. And then the game sort of attained this perception of, oh, there's no content in this game. They're not showing anything. Turned out to be a really good game, but the public perception had sort of turned against Evolve.
Yeah.
Long before it came out. So I think the turning the intersection for this game, whether they stay straight on the correct path here, more road puns, more road references, or they make a left turn into Crapville.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be at E3. Like if they double down and keep saying everything they've been saying about, yep, there are no guns in this game. It's all about the parkour and the movement. Then I think it's going to be a really largely hyped title by me, if no one else.
Yeah.
But if there's a sighting of a gun in Faith's hand, the perception from us hardcore guys who love this game 6 years ago, it's just going to be.
I bet when we see a demo, there's going to be a moment where Faith disarms a guy.
Yeah.
Grabs a gun. Everyone's like,
Disassembles it and
it's
throws
like,
it
it looks like she's
like
going to
Batman.
fire it, and then she just takes it apart.
Yeah.
That'll be good.
I would love that.
I just made it. Yeah, I mean, this is the game I want from Mirror's Edge is a first-person racing puzzle game. That's what I want. With a rad world, a rad story, and a rad art style.
Honestly, like I played Mirror's Edge. I played like almost all the way through it twice, but never actually finished it.
What?
Because I kept getting distracted by the time trials.
Those are cool.
I played the level 1 time trial for
So
10
good.
hours.
Mm-hmm. I believe that.
Loved it. Love that stuff. That's what that's all about.
Yeah, I just think, there are too many other Me Too shooters and first-person games. I really think I want to see if EA and DICE have the balls to follow through on what they've shown with this game so far. Because it is a risk, doing a AAA, big-budget, first-person game that's not about guns.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that I hope they're not going to crowbar in a gun level for the kids.
A second character who likes guns.
Like, nope, don't do that. Stay true.
Yeah.
Hold strong, and the hardcore enthusiasts we will follow.
Mm-hmm.
Very curious to see what happens with Mirror's Edge at E3.
How did the first game sell?
Not too
Not
well.
great.
Well, but they released it during the holidays, and so it was a new IP that was weird.
Yeah.
And so it if that game had come out in a March situation, it probably
What year did it come? 2009?
2008, right?
Yeah.
2008.
I don't
believe.
remember how I had heard about this game, but I remember buying it in college and like singing its praises all through it, like to all my friends, because it's so good and it's super unique.
Mm-hmm.
The art style, every bit, even though it's a 7-year-old 720p
looks
Xbox
good.
360 game,
Holds
the art direction is immaculate in that
I
game.
think there's besides some random weird things like guns and stuff, like the little story cutscenes, the characters, like the story in general, the art style, the platforming, it all came together really, really well in
I
this
agree
unique way.
completely.
And like, I think EA recognizes that it's something super unique, and they'll stay the course.
Yeah.
I believe in them.
You have faith.
Yes.
I was gonna say I like that. I was gonna say you believe in them, EA.
What do you guys think about maybe?
That's gonna be their next marketing tagline. They just don't believe.
So, what do you guys think about
gonna
maybe
sue you, EA, if you
multiple
try to use that.
protagonists or playable characters?
No,
maybe
thanks.
not in the campaign, but
Nope.
with different parkour.
No,
Nope,
thanks.
all about faith.
Wait, let him finish.
Like, so one of these things, and this is a totally unrelated game, but did you guys ever play Thomas Was Alone?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what I loved about that game is like all the blocks have like different
Personalities.
Not just personalities, but
not
abilities.
abilities,
Yeah,
but
like
like
they
they serve
all-
different purposes.
Yeah, like I think parkour is one of those things that if you double down on the parkour aspect of it, people parkour differently. They have different styles, people have different strengths, like people can leap further, jump higher, or roll better, or tumble better. Would you like to see that implemented into different protagonists?
I want to
in this
just
game?
somersault everywhere.
Only
I
if
don't
it's
even wanna
only
run.
if it's co-op and I can do that in a simultaneous 2-player campaign.
Man, how cool would
How
it
cool
be
would
to
that
see
be?
someone like 100 feet ahead of you
Well-
and stuff they're doing is affecting your path?
And
like they
do
need-
2-player parkour moves where you like got like vault
Yeah.
somebody,
Yeah.
or like Splinter Cell Chaos Theory co-op from back in the day.
Yeah, or
where
it's like by yourself, you can't leap up that wall because you're not Michael Jordan, but
Yeah,
you can
but if
like,
Sean, like,
run
boosts
jumps
me.
and like boosts you. Like that would be cool, man.
Or like you were saying, like if it affects the environment, like if I jump off something and it crumbles behind me, Ryan can no longer take that path because
Yeah.
I ruined it.
Or opens up a new path.
Yeah.
stop ruining my paths, Mitch.
Sorry, man.
Or
Stop
like in,
evolutioning my levels.
or like in Time Trial, it'd be really cool if like you're playing one character that can leap further, so you can make a jump that someone else can't. But then that character, like the other character, is smaller or can tumble better,
They can like
so can
bounce
take a
between
shortcut.
walls faster.
Yeah,
and
like
climb
they
higher.
can scale faster. Like I think that'd be really cool to just. It would make the gameplay deeper, and it would make the parkour element more nuanced.
I take it back. I would like that.
Yeah. Like, it depends on how it's
He's won
implemented,
us over.
obviously. But I
Yeah.
think that would be a cool idea.
Cool.
Good stuff, Sean.
Yeah.
The shark bites again.
Jump, jump. I tried to say chomp chomp with the Jaws theme. Yeah.
Jump, 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 jump.
John Williams.
Yeah.
Chomp Williams.
Chomp Williams.
Chomp
No, I was so close to being first on that one.
Oh my goodness.
First, is that what we're calling it?
Oh man. Let's move on. Tony Hawk is back. So is his caterer.
That's so sad. I'd feel bad if I was that caterer.
Marty, tell us about Tony Hawk and what he's up to now.
Yeah, for the past year or so, they've been they've been hinting that there's a new Tony Hawk game in the works. He went on stage at Sony's CES conference and mentioned it, and then a little while ago he had an event at a skate park, and a caterer took a picture. It was like, "Hey, I'm catering this event." There's a big logo that said Tony Hawk 5 in the background. It's like, well, this is a video game we're getting. And so our friends at Game Informer announced that we're getting Tony Hawk 5 this fall, and that in the same breath it said it's going to be a return to traditional Tony Hawk,
But
it's going to have projectiles and certain missions and power-ups.
Projectiles?
Yeah.
So I never played Tony Hawk past Tony Hawk 2.
Okay.
Which
Oh,
I
man,
think
you
is
missed
the
out on
best
3.
one. Yeah.
You
and
missed out on
4.
3.
4 was great too.
3 and 4, yeah.
3 and 4
Because
are
that's
really
when I didn't get. Those were both on PS2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like.
They were both on PS1 as well.
No.
Yep.
Really?
I played Tony Hawk 4 on PS1. It
Huh,
was like
that's
a hampered
dumb.
version of it, but
Yeah,
it was
don't do
still
that.
great.
Yeah, so I never got around to seeing Tony Hawk as people, I guess, as this generation really remembers as like what it became.
So it's pure in your mind.
Yeah, like I remember it being just that.
Yeah.
That's great.
There were where did projectiles come into the
No,
picture?
I don't know.
Do not
Projectiles
know.
are coming into place.
Oh,
Like
man.
the series got weird with
What are the
American
projectiles?
Wasteland and Project 8, and I don't know. None of us know what this means. Like
That's
the series got
so-
weird to where you could get off your board, and then there was
It was
so
like
this
an
is being,
open world game with weird
Yeah.
quests and stuff.
and this is being developed by Robomoto,
Correct.
who did
Ride.
Ride and Shred, which were the ones where you actually had a board in your living room, like a Wii Fit board,
Oh,
sort of. But they also did Tony Hawk HD, which came to XBLA a couple of years
Yep.
ago.
The
By the way,
remaster of just the first game.
Yep.
I'd like
It's
to.
combined first and second.
I would like to applaud Activision though for because Ride and Shred were unmitigated disasters for going with Robomoto again and not just being like, wow, those guys made 2 disasters for us. We're never working with them again. So
I mean, I
good
would
for
assume
them.
that those games were probably not Robomoto's fault. Like they
Exactly.
probably made the best game they possibly
With
could
that horrible tech.
With the horrible tech.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the fact that it's called Tony Hawk 5 is the thing that's really interesting to me because it's them saying like, "Hey, we're going to go back to sort of what made this series an iconic
That is
series
an-
across 2 generations of
It's an
consoles."
enormous display of confidence.
Yeah, and so like we don't have a ton of details right now, but as of now, I'm super on board. On board, skateboards,
I love you.
kickflip, McTwist. That was a skate move.
720.
Splits. Someone said
They should just rename. There should be a Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 bundle, console bundle for Xbox, but just for that bundle, they call it the Xbox 720.
That's pretty good.
Right?
It's pretty good.
Who's with me?
That's pretty good. I bet this game's gonna be downloadable, so that'd be a weird bundle.
All right.
Yeah, so we'll have more about that leading up to its release this fall,
Keep it locked.
autumn.
They dated it or
They just said later this
time
year.
framed it.
Yeah.
as well?
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Late breaking news before we got on the show today. According to longtime Microsoft blogger Paul Thurrott, his sources are telling him that the Xbox One is going to get DVR functionality for TV later this year, which is definitely a thing that people have been calling for since the console came out. I remember Microsoft saying, like, no, it's not really possible. The cable and satellite companies basically, C-blocked it.
The old C block.
It's the old C-block. And I'm not talking about a cinder block. Do you guys, do any of the 4 of you, including me, watch TV through your Xbox?
Do not have
No.
cable.
Nope.
Yeah, I cut the
Yeah,
cord.
I don't have
Yeah.
cable.
Everybody here, same boat?
Yep.
I mean, it seems like kind of a no-brainer technology for people who do have cable because it's already the signal's running into your box. The box has like a hard drive in it. I mean, it's a small one, obviously.
Especially
but,
with games on there.
yeah. But it seems like it should just be able to do that. So having the functionality is cool. I just don't see anyone using it. Like space is already really limited, and like I said, most people Most people I know don't have cable anymore.
Well, the question I would have is, who does it? This doesn't seem to really appeal to a lot of people, because if you cut the cable, like the four of us, this probably isn't going to entice you to resubscribe to cable television just so that you could get this DVR functionality, quote unquote, for free. And then if you already do have cable, you probably already have a DVR.
Yeah.
So it's, I mean, I guess theoretically you could stop paying your provider for that, and then they'd have to swap out your
box.
Your box, yeah, your whatever.
Yeah, I
I
think you
feel
probably,
like it's mostly built in these days.
yeah.
Like if you have Comcast or Cox, if it's down in LA or whatever, the SoCal area, yeah. Like I think
Phoenix is Cox too.
yeah,
The Phoenix area.
it's the box has like a DVR in it. And it's just like that's built-in functionality, you know, like it's just something you get.
Coxbox.
Get out, Marty.
I'd like you to believe.
What?
As in get out.
Eve.
Believe.
Yeah.
Believe. Anyway. Yeah, I think this is mostly, if this comes to pass, I would assume this is mostly Microsoft filling a hole in the, like, it's the all-in-one entertainment system. You don't even need a set-top box.
Yep.
But I do need the DVR. Oh, yeah, you do need the DVR. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to keep that.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking this. More functionality is awesome.
Sure,
I mean,
yeah,
this is a good
100%.
thing. It'll be a free feature, but yeah, I just question how many people
Are actually
this
gonna
is-
use
are
it.
actually going to use it. Who this
Totally.
is actually for. But so, according to Paul Thurrott, whose sources are usually fairly on point,
Yeah.
look for that hitting the Xbox later this year. I'm sure if it's real, they'll probably. Well, maybe they won't give it a passing mention at E3, because I think Phil Spencer learned to not talk
yeah.
about non-game things
At least
at E3.
not at E3.
Yeah, maybe another time. This is a press release.
Yeah.
Xbox One now has TV DVR functionality. Disney Infinity 3.0. What's going on with that, Mitch?
That's a game that is going to actually drive me to bankruptcy. I didn't play the first two Disney Infinities. I like Disney stuff. I like superheroes a whole lot. But Disney Infinity 3.0 is all Star Wars with bonus stuff from like Age of Ultron and Other Tron
And Mulan.
and Mulan.
Anything that ends with on.
It's got Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mon. Yeah, so it's all Star Wars themed, like drawing from the Clone Wars, which is a series I really love. It's got two separate campaigns, one that is Clone Wars themed, one that is original trilogy themed.
So how many of these toys to life are you buying? I mean, if it's mostly Marvel and Star Wars things.
I mean, if you name a Star Wars character, I'm probably gonna buy it as a figurine. Honestly.
I mean, you physically birthed one on the show last week. You birthed a
That's true.
figure.
Yeah, out of your chest.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Are you gonna buy a Ponda Baba?
I would buy a Ponda Baba.
Yeah?
I'd buy a Lobot.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Dengar?
I'd buy a Dengar in a heartbeat. Are you
Yeah,
kidding
he's
me?
like a dumb mummy.
I find it interesting that we're
Stupid, fat,
already
stinky mummy.
just with the third Disney Infinity. We're already like, there's nobody from the farm team. These are all the free agents now. Like, these are the guys that we bought and
Yeah.
imported. Like, okay,
Yeah.
there's the Marvel people and
Yeah.
here's the Star Wars people.
This game also has like 85 different development teams working on it.
That's a
Avalanche
lot.
is in charge of it.
Okay.
Ninja Theory's doing the melee
Wait,
combat.
Avalanche is in charge
the
of it?
Not that
the
Avalanche.
Salt Lake City.
There are
one.
two. Avalanche in Sweden does Just Cause
Because
and Mad
they
Max,
did Toy Story 3, which
Yes.
was
Oh,
a really
that
good
game was
game.
cool. Yeah.
which is kind of where this came from.
Yeah.
Like the sandbox mode in that wasn't.
Wait, is it still? It's Avalanche. It's the same company.
No.
Okay.
I think it's Avalanche Studios in Sweden.
Okay.
Does Mad Max Just Cause.
Yeah, yeah.
This is, I think, Avalanche Games.
All right, one of those needs to change.
I agree. So Ninja Theory is doing the melee combat, the lightsaber stuff.
did
Sumo
DMC.
Digital is Sumo is doing the driving. They did Sonic and Sega All Stars Racing, which is awesome.
That game's great.
Yep.
There's like
And a lot of other racing games, by
Yeah.
the way.
There's another dev team specifically doing the original trilogy or the prequel trilogy content. I can't remember which.
Yeah.
God, it's just like
Jonathan
this-
Blow's handling all the Mulan stuff. I don't know if they're weird. Let's just start adding weird developers. Like
Cliff Blazinski's doing the arena shooter portion of the game.
Kojima's now on the project.
Why, by the way, Disney Infinity 3.0, shouldn't it be called Disney Infinity 3PO?
Am I out of the frame yet?
Why?
Just saying it's a missed opportunity. It's all about Star Wars.
You're right.
That's
It
the
is.
second marketing campaign I've written for someone in one show.
You gotta start charging for this.
I know. I'm giving away all the good stuff for free here.
Oh man. Yeah, I'm excited for this game. I'm not super into like the make your own games, but I love Star Wars so much. I love the idea of combining all these different like eras, like Luke and Leia hanging out with Anakin Skywalker,
So
fighting Grievous. Like, what? This doesn't make any sense, but it's awesome.
do you guys think so? There's been Lego Star Wars, and we have Lego Dimensions, the other big new Toys to Life game.
Yep.
Does Disney Infinity and does this preclude a Star Wars hookup for Lego Dimensions?
Right. Like, I wondered about this when we first heard about Dimensions. My first thought was like, great, Lego Star Wars. They have a great relationship with Lego.
Right.
They're gonna make $1 billion. Now I wonder. I don't know. Like, I had thought EA had the exclusive rights to Star Wars games, but this is a Disney Infinity game. It just has Star Wars stuff in it. So
yeah,
could
I mean that also
Dimensions skirt around
same
that
thing
as
about
well?
Marvel. Yeah, there've been Marvel
true.
Lego games too.
That's
these
very
gonna be
true,
in- yeah, I don't know. I could see both sides. I could see Disney would not wanting to sort of split the market and being like, nope, if you want a Toys to Life Marvel / Star Wars thing, you have to
get
play
it
this
here.
game. But I could also see them being like, love money, love money.
Well,
Yeah, just
we
pay us a
get
bunch
paid
of money.
either way.
Yeah.
We make the money either way, no matter whose
mean,
name is on the box.
Like, I'm probably gonna buy, if there is Star Wars stuff, I'm probably gonna buy Lego Dimensions toys because they'll probably be cool. And I'm not gonna play that game, but I would have like a little Boba Fett. Right.
You're a weirdo.
Damn it, Mitch.
I know. I'm gonna pay $15 for Lando Calrissian.
You're a Dengar.
Oh. Also, they're doing a Force Awakens set for Infinity this year,
Oh,
so
Nice.
you'll probably get your Kylo Ren and your
BB-8.
Chewbacca, your BB-8.
yep, that was
That's
Chewbacca.
BB-8.
That was him.
All right. Speaking of Star Wars, Mitch,
Yeah,
I'm going to go to you because you're our Star Wars expert.
yeah. Well, I don't know if you heard, but Battlefront only has 4 planets, so that means there's not enough content. There's only possibly 8 maps, which isn't enough. No, there's 12 maps in Star Wars Battlefront we found out this week.
Isn't that exactly what we predicted on
Yes,
this
it is.
show? Yeah. 3 maps per planet.
Yeah, and I think it might even be. I don't think it'll be evenly divided because
I
don't
bet
think so?
Solist is gonna have.
Solus
like
sounds
only
like they're gonna have 4 on
Whoa,
that planet.
really?
Yeah, there was in the article that they wrote about about maps. Excuse me. They said that they wanted each level to have its own theme, and there's one like lava theme, one that's sulfur theme, one that's Death Star themed, and one that was something else themed. So that's 4 specifically for Solist. How many maps can you do on Hoth? Like, there's one iconic scene on Hoth. You can kind of.
What if you just have a very small Wampa cave?
It's probably just like
very
in the corner.
tiny Wampa cave, and
In
everyone's
the, in the
there.
pitch dark.
Yeah.
It's just a pitch black level.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's like modular stuff where if you want to play smaller skirmishes, because there is close quarters battles, and like they do have modes tailored for that. Maybe there's a
Maps will scale.
a Hoth variant, right? So I would assume that Hoth is 1, maybe 2 maps. Sullust is 4, brings us to 6, so that's 2 extra planets. Like
Yeah.
Endor could have a couple.
Tatooine could have a lot.
Tatooine's got a lot, right?
Yeah.
Like you could do Mos Eisley, you could do the canyons,
You do
could
Jabba's Palace.
Yeah, like there's all sorts of stuff. I don't think it'll be 3 each.
Okay.
I just because 3 Hoth maps. Come on. So yeah, here's the other flat snow land.
And then a month later, after the game comes out, we
Yes.
get the free the Jakku DLC, which
Yep.
is 2 maps,
2 maps,
correct?
and I
So-
think that's why people worried that it would only be 8 maps because hey, there are 4 planets. The Jakku DLC is only 2 maps. That must mean that these are also 2 maps each. So by December, this will have 14 maps,
all right.
which for me is plenty.
That is plenty.
I'm sure that we will play 4 of them over and over and reject
Well,
them.
that's true. That is true. It's rare that most shooters, almost 2 of, without exception, are that way. Where
Yeah.
you got your 3 or 4 standouts. There aren't a lot of Halo 2s in the world where it's just like every map's amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Marty,
This is the only thing that matters this week. Stop. If you listen to the rest of the episode, forget about it. Yooka-Laylee, which
Heard of that.
is a Kickstarted video game by former Playtonic. The studio's called Playtonic, and it was Playtronic, not Platonic.
Plantronics.
Plantronics. It was a bunch of former Rare developers who worked on Donkey Kong Country and Banjo-Kazooie and Viva Pinata, and they
if
launched.
you like Viva Pinata.
That's
a Palette Swap Ninja song
That's a
by
Pina
buddy Dan Amrich.
Colada. Yeah, they launched their Kickstarter for their game Yooka-Laylee, which is a little lizard named Yuka and a little bat named Laylee. They were asking for 175,000 pounds, which is evidently British money.
It's like
Yeah.
350 grand.
Yeah, and they
Thereabouts.
got that within an hour. Within a day, they were at $1 million. By the end of the weekend, it was the quickest video game to $1 million ever.
yeah.
Third quickest Kickstarter anything to $1 million ever.
Wow.
I think the Pebble was one of the only things faster. They're already well over. They're almost at like $2.5 million now, and they have another 3-4 weeks left. Their Kickstarter.
Your nostalgia.
Yeah. Yeah, but they were just, I mean, they just crushed Kickstarter goals, and this game is coming supposedly next fall to, next fall is in 2016.
No
Are
chance
we
in
talking
hell.
fiscal? Are we talking
We
fiscal?
talk
17?
fiscal. You can assume that it is coming. Coming to all consoles, including Xbox One, which is incredibly exciting.
Yes, this is great. By the way, did the font for the game, the font logo, really have to look exactly like Banjo?
Did you listen to the music on the Kickstarter site?
No.
Because gun to my head, I would have been like, I think that's a Banjo-Kazooie. Yeah, I mean, this game, if you saw, we debuted some of the footage when we sort of debuted this game the day before the Kickstarter. Definitely, I mean, the relationship between the characters looks like Banjo-Kazooie, the font looks like Banjo-Kazooie, which I'm sort of fine with. Like, these guys...
They can't make literal Banjo-Kazooie.
No,
Sure.
exactly.
My question, though, is it interesting? Like, you're a big fan of Banjo-Kazooie. That game means a lot to you.
Yeah.
You loved it at the time. You love it now. Do you want a new game that is just that? Like,
Yeah.
is that enough?
Yes,
He's
it
been
is.
wanting that
I mean,
forever.
honestly, it is
Say
enough.
100% yes.
Yeah, it's...
It's a yes for a lot of people, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, we got it was a genre that became oversaturated.
Sure.
That became just
Yeah.
they became too heavy.
The military shooter of its day.
Exactly,
I
and
think
so
we were talking about this recently. Like, there is no mascot platformer.
Right.
those just don't exist,
They don't exist, they're gone.
and they haven't existed for almost a decade since like
Xbox
Jack.
has never had
Jack and
one.
Ratchet.
Yeah.
They tried a
Yeah.
little bit with Voodoo Vince and one or two others,
our
but
time traveling cat friend.
Blinks, of
Yeah.
course.
And so, yeah, I think a lot of people who
Azaric.
were maybe kids with an N64 played these games are now adults with disposable income, and so now they're excited. They want this game, and I think this is the cool thing about Kickstarter is that these genres that supposedly faded away can come back.
Broken Age, Double Fine
yeah,
Adventure.
absolutely.
Even, like, Amplitude.
Carmageddon,
Yeah,
Reincarnation,
Carmageddon,
which I'm
Amplitude.
really excited
Yeah, totally.
Where's my GD Act Racer reboot?
for. Kickstart it, Mitch. Who owns it? Does Activision still sitting on that one?
I think Square does.
Really?
Square. How did Square get it?
Because they owned... So, Enix, I think, owned the developer. And then when they became married, they kind of acquired it. Also, I'm not lying to you. I have a design doc in my apartment that is how to make ActRacer 3. Like, I have all these ideas about, like, religion and culture and how to combine them into gameplay systems. Love it.
If the government finds that, you will be on a no-fly list.
Also, don't mail that to anyone because every developer has like a weird policy where they'll just
They
throw
own
that
it
shit in
now.
the trash.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait, is that real?
Yeah. I mean, they can't. They can't look at it. Like, if they look at it and they use the ideas, like,
You get sued.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. So, Marty, when this game comes out in 3 years,
I
how happy will you be?
I'm going to be very happy. Yeah, I don't think it's going to come out next fall.
Well, because you got to
Because now the game is much bigger than the thing they asked
exactly.
money for.
That's what I was going to say. Is like they announced the date, or they announced the date with that target goal in mind, right? And then they obliterated that target goal. Now
but
they have all
obviously
this
with the
other-
more money it means they can bring on more staff. It's not just like 8 dudes working in a
Well,
room.
I think we talked about it on, was it just last week's show, right? With Broken Age and with Carmageddon, where those games made 7 figures, just blew away their Kickstarter goals, and each ended up needing a ton more money to get done.
I have a feeling that they had that Yooka-Laylee has venture capital lined up.
I hope so.
And that this is going to be a big game. So, yeah, I mean, take your time. And as long, I mean, it's, there's no saying whether this is going to be good or not. But it's
just
people who
excited
made a
it's
lot of
happening.
games that I love. Yeah, I'm super excited. I hope they have a very sort of open development policy. I mean, nothing's going to be as open as the Double Fine stuff, but I would love just to sort of get a peek behind the hood.
Yeah.
Inside that Komodo dragon.
I think you mean it's on the kimono.
Kimono.
Did I say Komodo?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you said Komodo dragon.
You doubled down on it,
Yeah.
basically.
You knew what you said.
You knew what you
Don't
said.
lie to me, Sleeva.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm stoked for it too. I would love for let's bring back the mascot platformer.
Yeah.
It's time.
Yeah.
Right? Just like how we were going to buy Blinks till we found out it was a massive pain to even try to do that.
Acquiring something sucks.
Yeah. We were just going to give it to who did we decide?
Literally
to
anybody.
To Cappy, right?
yeah.
For free and say make this.
Dear Nathan.
But even acquiring it well beyond our puny reach.
Yeah. One thing I hope Yooka-Laylee does what Shovel Knight did, and it'd be cool if there were little platform-specific characters in the game.
That would be awesome.
Get Blinks in the game. Get
Banyo.
That'd be
Get
so
Banyo in the game. Banyo Kaszewski. It's Polish.
Does Banyo mean bathroom?
No, it's Polish.
Yes, it does, though, Mitch. You are correct.
You mean bathroom.
Thank you.
Hold on, I gotta hit the Mitch.
Take a bitch.
Shark.
Mm-hmm.
What can we spend our money on?
There's nothing at retail, so
Rip.
don't even try.
Don't even try.
Wolfenstein The Old Blood, $20 on the digital front.
Game's cool.
Yeah, I'm
reviewing it.
I am reviewing it. Yes, it's we didn't get it till yesterday, though, the day it came out. Which is not. It's just one of those things that sucks that we didn't get to the day. I don't think it's indicative of the quality of the games because from what I've played so far, it's pretty good.
Have you? So I've seen several really, really great Easter eggs pop
Yeah.
up on the internet
Yeah.
so
See
far.
them on IGN right now.
Yeah.
Mitch and I streamed the game for 2 hours yesterday, and very early on in the game, you find a soda machine with Nuka-Cola in it.
Yep.
A guy driving you around. If you look at his keychain, it's the rocket launcher from Quake 3.
Right.
And then it's the what's the Fusro Da man's name?
man's hat.
Yeah, Fusro Da
helmet.
man's name is
The
his hat's-
Dragonborn
And
helmet.
then Chris Waters from our friends at GameSpot, he had an awesome tweet last night. Apparently, at one point, one of the Third Reich dudes.
The grammar Nazi?
Yes,
Yep,
the
the
literal
grammar Nazi. Yeah, we
grammar
found grammar
Nazi.
Nazis,
Grammar
yeah.
Nazi.
Yeah, there's more weird nightmares where you play through a level of the original Wolfenstein 3D.
So good.
Yeah, the game's good.
It's $20, right?
$20, and it's 8 chapters. The chapters are about as long as the chapters were in Wolfenstein, so
Oh,
that's
So it's probably like 5-6 hours?
more.
More?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to play that game.
When can we read your review?
My goal is to have it up tomorrow on Thursday by end of day.
Cool.
yeah.
But no promises.
No promises.
Good luck.
At least there's no multiplayer to deal with.
Nope.
Just play it,
Yep.
enjoy it.
Kill a Nazi and move on.
Got Project Root for $7 on Xbox One. Note, it's a shmup.
I've never
What
heard
is
of this
that?
game.
It's a shoot 'em up.
Shoot 'em up.
Oh, got it.
Pew, 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 pew. Ships, pew, pew, pew.
That is not what I thought you
Lasers.
meant.
Like an Ikaruga, but probably not as good.
Moving on over to the marketplace. Alpine Stars car pack for Forza Horizon 2. You get 6 cars, $5. $5.
Buy 5 cars, get 1 free. I think
Boom.
That's how that works.
If that were a Call of Duty map pack, it would be $50.
I don't even want to talk about what the games with gold are. I'm just still angry at them.
Ugh.
So let's not. No, I'm
No.
just Castle Storm Definitive Edition and Pool Nation FX. Those are your games with gold for Xbox One. Mafia 2 for the first 2 weeks, and then F1 2013
It's just if your 360
for
is
the last
plugged
2
in,
weeks of 360.
if you still have your 360 and it's still plugged in, give Mafia 2 a shot. It's pretty cool. It's not like blow your face off amazing, but it's really good.
And if you have an
360 is
Xbox
still
One,
hooked up.
if you have an Xbox One, just download Pool Nation so we don't have to have this again next month.
Yeah,
Everyone, for the love of God, just download, instigate the download, delete it immediately, just so that this doesn't have to happen again.
Just
Microsoft
they see
can
it
go,
on everyone's
look, they got it.
machines.
Yeah.
We can move on.
Nobody needs it anymore. Let's change it.
Again, I still love the idea that this game is incredible and that we're all just
Yeah.
pooping.
Oh, yeah.
Something like Rockstar's Table Tennis.
Can we
It's
do a
actually,
Let's Play
really
Pool
cool.
Nation?
We probably should. No.
Yeah, we probably should.
Yeah.
We probably won't.
We probably should, but we probably won't. Classic.
All right.
right.
Be right back with Unlock Block Trivia. It is a tight race in the for the bragging rights. Be right back. All right, let's do a little Unlock Block Trivia.
Let's do it.
Coming for you, Destin.
Our winner this week, Emron Ismail, whose gamer tag is, let's see,
Inugami
the
the
Hound,
Hound.
all one word. He's from Sugarland, Texas.
That doesn't sound like a real place. That sounds like a fake land.
Sugarland.
That's probably where they bottle Dr. Pepper, if I had to imagine.
Ooh, delish.
So, the question, gentlemen, and I will look
Hit
up
me.
the scores momentarily. I did not know this, so he stumped me. Who voiced Marcus Phoenix before John DiMaggio did back in the Gears of War teaser in 2005? The original Gears
I
of
don't
War
even remember what the
teaser.
Gears of War
was
teaser
the Mad
was.
World.
Yeah, I don't remember.
No.
No,
There was
that was way
no one was
later.
voicing anything in that. That was just the Gary Jules
That's
song.
true.
Wait, so yeah, what was
Also,
the
wasn't that
teaser?
for a Gears sequel?
No, that was for Gears 1.
Oh.
Yeah, but it was like a launchy thing. Anyway, sorry.
So we got Troy Baker, Steve Blum, Nolan North, or Cam Clark. And our scoring, I'm going to have everybody write down their answers again. That seemed to go well last week. Mitch
pen.
and Sean, the Shark, with 6 points. Destin, still tied for the lead despite never being on the show anymore. Tied with Marty, 7 points. I will hand you the pen, Sean.
Boom.
Let you do your thing. So, who was the original voice of Marcus Phoenix in the Gears of War teaser in 2005 before John DiMaggio came in and brought his "Oh, come ons" into the world? Was it Troy Baker, Steve Blum, Nolan North, or Cam Clark?
Why do you write so much?
Definitively,
Scribbling.
the Shark writing, Marty writing, everybody's done. All right, I will go. Let's see. Since Mitch is tied for second place, I'm going to go to him first.
I went with Steve Blum. Steve Blum is kind of ubiquitous. He is in everything. You've heard
Okay.
him. You know his
He's
voice. You might not know who he is.
Spike, right?
Yep.
Spike
he's
Spiegel
from
and
Cowboy
Cowboy
Bebop.
Bebop.
He's currently Gareth Zebarelius in Star Wars Rebels.
Sure.
He's just a giant purple monster.
Shark?
I have zero idea. My inclination was to say Nolan North because he's in everything. But then I was like, Nolan North's so good, why would they replace him? And this was a while ago, so I'm going to take the next person I know, who is Troy.
So Troy Baker apparently not good enough to be.
This was baby Troy Baker.
This was,
Yeah.
this
before
was
he
young
became
Troy
adult
Baker. This was
Baker
newbie
babies.
Troy Baker.
When before Troy was Troy.
Babies, they'll make our dreams
Really,
come true.
they're both just equal shots in the dark for me.
Yeah.
So
Marty.
I went with D. Cam Clark. My good friend Mitch
My boy
informed me.
Liquid Snake.
Was the voice of Liquid Snake and Leonardo DiCaprio, the Ninja Turtle.
So this is the one I was torn between Steve Blum and Cam Clark, because Cam Clark, I feel like he's a guy who is not in everything. He's not like the go-to guy for stuff. So you might use him as a temp or someone who gets
Yeah.
replaced by John DiMaggio.
Yeah.
But Steve Blum, he has got that tough guy voice.
Yeah.
All right, we do have a winner for this week, and we now have a three-way tie for first as Mitch Dyer moves
Blum.
into a three-way tie for
Bummer.
first. Steve Blum is the correct answer. Well done, Mitch.
Please pick those
Thank
up.
you, Steve Blum.
If you would like a shot to stump the panel and to win yourself a video game of some sort, send your Xbox-related trivia question, include 4 multiple-choice answers, noting the correct one in your email. To where, Mitch?
Unlocked@IGN.com.
Brilliant stuff. Most of you listen to the show on podcasts, iTunes, wherever that place is. I don't know what I was starting to say right there. That really went terribly wrong. I was going to say most of you listen to the show on Podcast Unlocked. Like I should hope
is
so.
true.
I
And you
should
just
hope so.
somehow you go right back into the intro where in this like we're stuck in a time loop. Like, welcome to Podcast Unlocked episode 3.
So yeah, iTunes. Search the iTunes store for Podcast Unlocked, and you can click the subscribe button. Get the show nice and easy every week. It's also on full video now. If you want to just watch the show, you can do that on YouTube, on IGN, or the IGN Xbox One app, which has now been updated to tell you which button it is to go full screen.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Hallelujah! Praise the Lord! So I encourage you to check out our Xbox One app.
It was a good app.
It is. And that's it. I think
We
we're
did it.
done.
Yeah.
I
We
want
did
to
it.
go
We made
to
it.
Shark real quick. Oh, IGN Prime, right. I'm obliged to tell you about that. If you haven't already subscribed and you're not super sick of me telling you about it, $30 a year gets you, well, it keeps us here for number one. Number two, it gets you no ads before videos on IGN, and it gets you far fewer ads on the IGN webpage as well.
So great.
That's pretty much what it's good for, if nothing else. But you do also get free PC or iOS games each month and the occasional beta access to a cool beta for a video game. So go to IGN.com/Prime for that. And now I go to Sean Finnegan for plugs.
follow me on Twitter at I'm Finnegan. Also my Instagram at I'm Finnegan. But we also launched this really cool product today called The History of Awesome.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can go see it on IGN. Come listen to us talk about why 1977 and every year subsequently thereafter up until now was huge for pop culture. It's
Yeah.
actually a very, very fascinating discussion. Obviously, 77 is a big year, and without Star Wars and other things
The
like
Atari,
IGN may
yeah.
not even be here. Yeah, Atari, yeah.
Yeah, so we're counting up from 1977 to now, and every week we're gonna have a different year.
Yeah.
Obviously, so next week will be 78,
78.
but it's a big package of like a really great hour-long discussion about
Yeah.
the rad movies and games and toys and comics that came out that
Books
year
and,
and
yeah,
books.
everything.
Yeah, along with some great like interactive timeline stuff and fun facts about the years. So it's a really cool thing.
Yeah, you can, if once we get to the 80s, you'll see me on a couple of shows.
Yeah,
Me too.
yeah, we're pulling in people from IGN globally, so
Yeah.
very cool stuff.
I'm not on until the 90s.
No, only 90s kids will remember Sean Finnegan.
Marty Sleva.
Yes.
Plug away.
You can follow me at McBiggity. I am
2 G's, 2 T's.
2 G's, 2 T's. Yeah, tomorrow or for sure Friday morning, watch my Wolfenstein: The Old Blood review. That's a game where you kill a Nazi and a dog.
And you steal dog food.
And we stole dog food. but
Please
didn't
go
kill
watch
the dog.
mine and Marty's 2-hour stream of Wolfenstein: The Old Blood, because it is some good
Where we
stuff.
stopped killing dogs and just stole their food and snuck past them.
Wow.
Yeah, if you eat the dog food, it gives you 5 points.
I asked Marty to stop killing all the dogs, and he just started stealing all their food.
Yeah,
That is actually worse.
but
You're starving
but
them to death.
I did kill other things in the room, so when they wake up, they
food.
could just eat the
You
humans.
can eat some Nazis.
All right. Well, they probably would actually prefer that.
Yeah.
Mostly
sure
fresh
Nazis
meat.
taste
So
great.
would the Nazis.
Yeah.
Mitch Dyer.
Ryan, you and I went to Boston last month, and
We
we
did.
got to see and play Rock Band 4. We also got to do a lot of other stuff that you're going to see throughout the month of May. So right now, today, as we record this, my vocals feature went up, so you can learn all about the new singing features.
They're
in Rock
doing a
Band
lot of
4.
interesting things with the vocals.
Yeah, and then throughout the month, we're going to have all sorts of stuff about like the new game engine, the RPG-esque campaign.
Song reveals, of course.
Yeah, song reveals. Next week, keep an eye out. Ryan and I played a canceled Rock Band game.
That is true. A Rock Band
So-
game, it got so far, it was in a playable state, so
Yeah,
they
we
let us
played
play it.
They let us
and-
play a lot of it.
Yeah.
They were very brave.
Yes. So and then the big one, which I'll add on there, is next Friday, May 15th,
yes.
noon Pacific. For 1 hour, we will have the world gameplay debut of Rock Band 4. We're just going to play it here in the studio. Harmonix is coming out. So see it in action for real. Chance to win some Rock Band 4 swag packs that Harmonix is kindly bringing with them. And ask the Harmonix guys questions, ask us questions. Yeah, we'll be playing it. It's going to be a good day. You can follow me on Twitter at DMC_Ryan. And yeah, I'm just working on all the Rock Band stuff with Mitch. That's pretty much it. You're also already listening to the other thing I do, which is this show. So thanks.
Ooh, also, I just remembered, Marty and I are working on a feature about an indie game called Oxenfree.
Yeah.
I have no idea if this game is coming to Xbox.
Is it a sequel to Ali Ali?
Yes.
Ali colon
Very
Oxenfree.
good. I don't know if this game's coming to Xbox One. We don't know anything about it except that it's coming this year, and we played a demo of it, and it's incredible.
Yeah, it's
So go look that up on IGN.
yeah, super amazing.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Big fans of that game already.
Love it. And that's it. This is episode 194 in the books. Be back next week for 195. Actually, I will say so. Still no. So end of June. What can we say, Marty? Do we even know what we can say yet about the?
We say end because stuff keeps changing. End of June, we're doing a joint live in San Francisco. Unlock 200, Beyond 400, big podcast,
Which you're
meetup,
ironing to.
Funzy extravaganza.
8-person podcast.
We're not doing an 8-person podcast. Damn it, Sean. Yeah, so we're ironing out details. I know it's annoying. I know we're getting close. We will have lockdown things soon. Keep it locked. Don't yell at us. I'm sorry.
I know.
It's gonna be
And
good, though.
I will say though, definitively, the E3 edition of Podcast Unlocked. I just locked the final piece of the puzzle. Just clicked into place yesterday.
I didn't know this.
I have a really well, you know what
I
it is.
do now. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's a good
So
one.
the E3 edition of Podcast Unlocked will be very different and I think very special. I'm actually really, really excited about it. So
Yep.
look out for that. And hopefully that's going to be a live thing, not with like an audience, but streamed
As a part
live.
of the live stream. Yeah.
But I can't guarantee that part yet. But you'll definitely be able to
That
see
is
it
the
and
plan.
listen to it. So
That'll be great.
more on that soon. For Marty Sleva, the Shark, and Mitch Dyer, I'm Ryan McCaffrey, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.